There is one kitchen countertop material that everybody loves to hate, laminate. Last year, we installed a giant sheet of laminate countertop ourselves and have been using it for a while. If you're in the market looking for kitchen countertop material and wondering if laminate is the right fit for you, let me walk you through our DIY process and give you the pros and cons so you can decide for yourself whether it is a good fit or not. So laminate countertops are a large decorative plastic layer that's glued to particle board. They have a bad rap because we often think of them as outdated and cheap material that's trying to mimic real stone but do a pretty terrible job. There are two main reasons that we decided to go with laminate. One, the cost. For about $200, we can get a large sheet of 2 feet by 10 feet with an integrated backsplash. So that's about $10 per square foot, compared with an entry-level granite that is priced at $50 per square foot, so it is a fraction of the price. And the second reason is the laminate countertop have come a really long way. They have some really nice patterns, including the ones that we bought that just look like white marble. We brought the countertop in through the basement window, which was an adventure in itself, and we noticed it was not flat. This was an issue we have to deal with later. What we also noticed was the countertop did not fit the cabinets we already put in place. IKEA cabinets are frameless and the doors are full overlay, which means they go all the way to the top of the cabinet. And with the countertop having an overhang like this sticking out at the bottom, the doors will have problem opening. Luckily, there are products you can buy specifically for this purpose. I had some scrap wood sitting around in the garage that was the right thickness, so I ripped it down to make some build-up strips. We added the strips at the bottom to raise up the countertop. That solved our first problem. Then I move on to fix the rough edges. So you're supposed to run a hot iron against the end cap and glue it onto the side of the countertop. While I was ironing it, the corners started to peel off.
A few minutes later.
It was really frustrating. I had to use a lot of clamps to clamp it down, and after this disaster, I actually read the instructions and realized you're supposed to cool it down immediately with a damp cloth. I tried that on the other side and it stuck a lot better, so keep that in mind. After this nerve-wracking experience, I was really nervous about messing up the end cap. So I let my husband handle the trimming off part, which he did with a genius trick.
We learned online that you can use a round over routed bit, and we just raise it up slightly so you can see it has that little pointy edge sticking out slightly, and we can use the router to trim off the excess laminate from the end cap.
Then he cleaned up the residue with a wood stick. We also need to figure out the back. You see, our wall is wavy. In order to make the countertop fit tightly against the wall, I ran a pencil along the wall to Scribe and then sanded the backsplash down with an orbital sander. Because particle board is really easy to sand, it didn't take me too long to get a good fit. If you have a sink in your kitchen, you will also need to cut a big hole in the middle of the countertop. There are 2 rectangles you want to mark, one for the outside of the sink, another one for the inside bowl. So you want to make sure to cut just enough for the bowl to fit in, but not too much that the gap shows. Once you make sure your measurements are right, you want to triple check it is correct because you only do it once. Pre-drill with a large drill bit and cut along the inside rectangle using a circular saw. Circular saw is easier to get a straight cut in my experience. Another tip here is you can screw in scrap wood to temporarily hold the cutout piece in place so that it won't fall and rip the laminate. Brilliant, right? Remember how our laminate countertop had a slide bowl? Securing it took some effort because we had to flatten it somehow. So we used a ton of clamps, and we also recruited some help to add extra weight to it. Then we screw in from the bottom through the metal rail. Just to be sure, we also added some L-shaped brackets underneath. Lastly, you want to caulk along the backsplash around the sink and in between two slabs. And if you are as picky as I am, touch up the ugly seams on the edges. So I've tried different methods for this, and you don't need to stumble like I did. Simply dab some white acrylic paint on the seams. It is thick enough to cover the edges, but not too chunky. It looked a lot more blend in afterwards. Now let's talk about pros and cons. So first of all, I definitely love the price. The price is unbeatable. And also, laminate countertops are DIY friendly. You can carry, cut, and install all by yourselves as a beginner. Also, it has a smooth and matte finish that provides protection against stains and scratches. But on the other hand, I don't like the glue-on Endcap. It's simply too finicky. And also the fact that the countertop can warp easily. But then again, because of the cost, when I get tired of this, I could just spend another $200 to replace it with a brand new piece in the future. No big deal. Well, I hope this has been helpful. My husband and I are definitely not experts, but I hope that by sharing my experience, you get some helpful tips and information for your next project. And I'll see you next time.